Another day on Reddit, where they are outing themselves as terrorists. It seems they are defending Antifa, the terrorist organization, at least in the USA, which is where most Redditors live. The Antifa and new left wing networks are considered major terrorist groups, and Reddit has wasted no time in quoting long dead people as they think that the corpses of the past somehow compel the current existence of the world. The Democrats like to believe that they are the only people who learned from the past and moved towards a better and brighter future. But of course, that's just arrogance on their part, them thinking that they are some sort of messiah leading the world to this future that only they can see, and everyone else is, of course, the antagonists. But here's the thing. Do any of the evil people of the world see themselves as evil? Did the KKK, did the neo-Nazis, did Hitler himself, do they think they're evil? I don't think so. So the Democrats, they don't see themselves as evil, but look at what they're saying. How Nazi of them. Nazi of them to call terrorists terrorists. Nazi of them to, charge a terrorist as a terrorist, to treat them like a terrorist. The largest and most violent domestic terror group in the U.S. is MAGA. That's right. An 85-year-old man who wants to make America great again is the worst and most violent terrorist in the entire country. Only one group of domestic terrorists planned a seditious conspiracy and attempted to overthrow the government. Really? So you're saying that Antifa doesn't want to overthrow the government? Because that seems to be what all of you want to do, you left-wingers, and Antifa is left-wing, and you clearly want to overthrow MAGA. You're trying to classify MAGA as domestic terrorists. You're saying that they took over the government. So clearly, you want to get them out of the government. So clearly, you as Antifa think that you should just take over the country, obviously. That's funny because I classify the entire Trump family as a major terror group. Antifa isn't an organization, it's an ideology. Yeah, a lot of people say that. I mean, that's the official narrative, is that it's just a bunch of compartmentalized cells that have nothing to do with each other. They just all happen to show up where they're needed, in full black with gas masks. All of them, no idea who each other are. None of them know each other's names. There's no hierarchy. Yeah, and you think that they're all just heroic vigilantes, freedom fighters who happen to be there in the right place at the right time with the exact same clothing and the exact same message. Right, yeah, so you're an idiot then. Fascists don't just come out and call themselves fascists. They just announce that fascism is terrorism. Uh-huh, right, like I said earlier, the bad guys don't think they're the bad guys. Antifa, aka anyone who believes in democracy. There you go. I mean, that's exactly what I was saying. They think that they're the good guys, and they will defend that to the end. Well, any Democrat must be Antifa then, right? I mean, that's what they're saying, right? I mean, look at the follow-up. It's crazy to me how few people realize they're Antifa, but most of the country is against fascism. But Antifa, as the other person said, is an ideology. It's an organization, really. It's a terrorist group. Being against fascism doesn't make you Antifa. And there's so many people who don't seem to understand this. It's so easy to grasp. Like, where's this one stupid comment? Here it is. If you're not against fascist, doesn't that mean you're pro-fascist? I mean, it's like talking to children. They honestly, they have the mentality of a child. Like, I'm rubber, you're glue. Whatever you say bounces off of me, it sticks to you. Honestly, how could you have a conversation with these sorts of people? My favorite is this comment here. MAGA is inseparable and has the same goals as the Republican Party. The party needs dissolved, and there needs to be RICO charges against their leaders. This doesn't and can't end with the Trump crime family. So they're saying that the entirety of the Republican Party needs to be completely annihilated, and they need to be placed in prison, and it can't just be Trump and his entire family. Then they edit it, and of course they have to claim that everyone who disagrees with them is a PDF file. So they edit it, and they witch hunt these two people, which I'm pretty sure is against Reddit's policies, but that's fine because Reddit's left-wing, hyper left-wing, and they say don't let them near your kids. I think the left wing's the one I wouldn't want near my kids. But again, these people are trying to completely dissolve the Republican Party. Antifa, the left wing, all of these people saying that they're left wing, they are trying to destroy the Republican Party. They're trying to take down the administration, and anyone who agrees with them, they are trying to take over the country. And they're saying that Antifa isn't. It's not a crime organization. It's not a terrorist organization. Whatever. Well, I think that's kind of funny because if you read, this is from the NATO Association of Canada. Their description of it is saying that as riots have erupted across the United States over the murder of George Floyd by a Minneapolis police officer on May 25th, much of the violence and chaos has been inflamed by conflicts between right-wing agitators and the left-wing counter-protesters known as Antifa. So, of course, it's the right wing that's started this. Now, mind you, the violence and chaos has been inflamed. So, what do you mean to say there? There was already violence and chaos, and then it was inflamed by right-wing agitators? Well, who started the violence and chaos to begin with? Why didn't you start with that? No. You started with saying that the right wing was bad. And then Antifa came in to counter-protest against the evil right wing. Right. Well, Antifa, short for anti-fascist, is a decentralized association of groups and individuals on the far left united in their aggressive opposition to fascism, police brutality, racism, and other forms of right-wing extremism. Yes, all of these things are only right-wing extremism. Police brutality has nothing to do with the left, of course. Racism has nothing to do with the left. Forget the fact that you have politicians in the USA explicitly saying racist things and sexist things against white people and men. Just that doesn't matter because you can't be sexist against a man, of course. You can't be racist towards white people. We all know these things. So, of course, the left wing can't be racist and sexist. They can't have police brutality. They can't have fascism. Yes, they want to completely wipe out the Republican Party. Yes, they want to get rid of all the white people. Yes, they want to establish total dominance over the country. Yes, but it's good because they're Democrats, you see. And what was this inflaming that they did? Well, there was this one guy during the Virginia protests or whatever, that he decided to just drive a car through the counter protests, and a woman died and many others were hurt. And it's just the one guy does this. And so this is the right wing inflaming everything. Like one person does something, well, other singular people do bad things as well. So why is that not considered? There's a guy here named Michael Forrest Renault from, I think this is 2020. He was in Portland, Oregon, and he is a member of Antifa. Was a member of Antifa, 100% Antifa, they say. And he saw someone from the Patriot Prayer Group, which is a right-wing group, I believe, and he identified him and decided to just stalk him and then pull out a gun and shoot him point blank in the chest. Danielson died on Portland's 3rd Avenue Southwest from a single shot to the chest. He wore a Patriot Prayer cap, and his friend Chandler Pappas, who was there at the time, alleged that he and Danielson were hunted down. Renault, the shooter, in an interview with Vice News Thursday evening, said he feared for his life. He feared for his life, and that the killing of Danielson was justified. So he said that it was okay that he assassinated someone at point-blank range in cold blood. That's okay. It's okay when Antifa murders people, but not when the right wing does it. Not when some right wing guy gets mad and drives his car through a crowd of anti-protesters. That's pure evil, which it is. But when Antifa decides that they're going to do something, then it's good? Renault was named earlier this week by the Oregonian, sorry, that's a hard word to say, as a suspect as well as in social media posts, and his family received death threats. In our last conversation, Mike talked constantly about wanting his children to be safe if something were to happen to him, wrote Tiffany Wickwire, a friend, in a Facebook post that noted that his children were also being targeted. Our last words to each other were telling each other to be safe. Well, maybe if you didn't pretend that you were a vigilante hero who was justified in your stalking and murdering of people that you simply disagreed with politically, then you wouldn't need to worry about your life. You wouldn't need to worry about the lives of your children. You put your children, forget your own life, you put the lives of your children, and presumably your wife or whoever, in danger because you wanted to hurt someone else. You wanted to take someone else's son or brother or husband or father away from them because you didn't like their political views, and you're a hero. But you're not. You're just someone that the world has already forgotten. Everyone forgot this dude existed. Everyone forgot this guy, James Alex Fields Jr., who drove through that crowd of people. Everyone's forgotten that they've existed. Everyone's forgotten that this guy existed, a 23-year-old math student in France very recently, just a couple of months ago. He was protecting some woman from being attacked by Antifa in France, by the way. Remember, it's a domestic organization that only exists in the USA and definitely not in other countries, even though the only people in Europe who are trying to classify them as terrorists are Poland and Hungary. Everyone else is saying, oh, no, it couldn't happen here, couldn't happen here. Well, apparently it can. Apparently it can happen there, and did, in fact, happen there, and it will continue to happen there. So all of these people insisting that Antifa is actually woke, based, the proper way to live your life, the Democrats just go out and murder people that you disagree with. That's democracy, is it? Yeah, democracy is stalking people and point blank murdering them with a gun. That's what democracy is. And it's okay to do that because you're the good guys. Well, moving on to another story of Redditors being stupid. They are starting to revoke passports for people in the USA who owe child support. Now, this has kind of always been a thing. I don't think they were revoking them before, but they were disallowing you to renew them, right? So they were disallowing the renewal of passports if you owed child support. And now they're straight up revoking them. And some of the Redditors are understanding of this, especially because it's mostly in favor of women, as women obviously have bias in the court to get custody of the children, and therefore most of these passports being revoked are being revoked from men. But yet, there are some people who are making a hash of it because they have to make everything about Trump. The ones with TDS, yes. Here's someone saying Elon Musk is going to lose his passport. I'm pretty sure Elon Musk is paying his child support. Not that he even has child support, really, but if he did, I'm pretty sure he's paying it. So we have some people down here getting mad at Trump. So unpaid child support means you can't vote also? That's what the SAVE Act is pushing for, right? And this is the narrative that they're trying to take people's passports away from them so that they're not allowed to vote. And tell me, how exactly does taking the passports away from these people who owe child support a bad thing? They're taking votes away. It's all part of the scheme. That's right. They're taking votes away from people who owe child support. But how exactly are you going to say that the people who owe child support would vote Democrat? What's that? Are you saying that the people who would vote Democrat and all they all owe child support and they're trying to be international travelers with a potential flight risk to abandon their children in a different country, you're saying that all those people might be Democrat? That they might vote Democrat? Well, that's strange, isn't it? Why would all these people who might abandon their country, abandon their children in the USA and flee to another country, that they might all be Democrats and that it's a bad thing to take their vote away? Isn't that strange? Isn't that strange? If they were going to vote for Trump, there would be no problem giving their votes to them, right? Is that what you're saying? Yeah. Men, especially conservative men, don't typically change their last names upon marriage, so very few men would ever need a passport to vote. Deadbeat dads will still have their voting rights. But most of the custody goes to women, which means most of the people who owe child support are these deadbeat dads. And if their passports, do you understand the topic at all that you're talking about? Well, I mean, again, these people, they don't even bother to read. They don't even bother to think, for that matter. They're just testing this out, and they will continue to add infractions to the list. Mark my words. Except this has kind of been the practice since the 90s, and it's also normal in other countries to do this as well. Kind of like protecting borders, even. You might say the same thing regarding that. And then the response is going into talking about how it's about the SAVE Act, and they're trying to take people's votes away. First thing I thought of, too. Of course people support revoking passports from deadbeat dads. But who's next? People with any kind of debt? Political enemies? Yes, they start with groups that no one objects to, and then they add to it. You mean like when Bill Clinton said that abortion should be safe, legal, and rare, and now the Democrats are saying that abortion is the best thing ever, and everyone should have abortions all the time. You mean like how we had voting rights given to black people, and now we have the Democrats gerrymandering the crap out of states to create majority black districts, and they are then terrorizing those black people and telling them that the Republicans will return the country to a confederacy with black slaves unless the black people vote blue? Is that what you mean when you're talking? Are you talking about how these groups giving the right to have gay marriage and say we need to now have gender-neutral bathrooms and gender-neutral sports, teach toddlers, the gay BCs, have puberty blockers and so on and so forth? Is this what you're talking about when you say that they're starting with something that no one objects to, like equal rights, like safe and rare abortions, and then exacerbating it? Is that what you mean? Because that's what it sounds like to me. All of you people are being totally ridiculous in this, trying to claim that there's some greater agenda to taking away passports from deadbeat parents, which I would point out as well that they are specifically saying things like deadbeat dads, multiple people, not even considering the fact that a woman might owe money to a man for child support. And in fact, they might owe money to another woman, like they don't even think about it. They exclusively think men evil. That's what they think. Now, I did say as well, it's probably men, but I was careful to mention that the court is likely to give custody to the woman. That's not to say that they should have. It's just to say that they are biased in favor of that. So most of these people traveling internationally and can't pay their child support, aren't paying at the very least, aren't paying their child support. Why would you want to defend that? Well, they're defending it, again, because that's where they start. They start with something that everyone agrees on, and then they move on to other things. But if you agree on it, then you have to say that it's a good thing that they're doing it. But you won't. You can't do it. You can't say that Trump is doing anything right, can you? You have to say that you agree with what he's doing, but he's not allowed to do it because if he does it, then he's going to somehow make it worse for the Democrats. That he's going to twist the narrative at some point. It's ridiculous. They literally cannot allow Trump to do anything. So the only thing that works here is that Trump does. Honestly, even if Trump did what the Democrats wanted him to do, they would still get mad about it, wouldn't they? Just the fact that Trump did it. Like, Trump could legalize everything they want, and they'd still get mad about it. It's pathetic. It's stupid. Like, they can't accept anything. This is a totally fine, acceptable law. Other countries do it. Antifa is a terrorist organization. And frankly, it's not just Antifa. It's not just an organization. I think that anyone who's going around, like, I make videos, loads of people make videos about all of these random attacks that happen, gang violence, just people. I just put out a video earlier about some two guys, Jishan and Ahmed or whatever, attacking some random old man. Like, that is a terrorist attack to me. You are attacking someone in the middle of the street. That means that anyone watching that would think like, oh, well, if I walk down the street in Seattle, two random men might come beat me and break my bones. That to me should be classified as terrorism. Forget Antifa. I think that the definition of terrorism should be spread far and wide at this point. Like, we have way too simple laws, way too soft-handed, and it's not really getting the job done anymore. And part of that is because of the Redditors, who, of course, they have to blame Trump for everything, say that he's not allowed to move his feet, and, of course, the entire admin as well. I'm just using Trump as, like, the catch-all here. And it's ridiculous. They need to be brought to heel. These people want to destroy the Republican Party. They want to do worse than that to Trump. I mean, they'll say imprison them and RICO Act and whatever, but we know what they want to do. They're not so subtle about it on other places. I don't think the Democrats need to be destroyed. I think they need to be realigned with common sense. They need to get their anti-capitalist, pro-communist, anti-Christian, pro-Islamic, anti-white, pro-anything else, I guess, anti-male, pro-female. Well, actually, I'm just going to extend that to any of the gender identities as well. They need to get all of that under control. Like, I'm not saying you have to I don't want to make it illegal to be trans or gay or anything like that. I'm fine with it. I just, I don't want it in the school is all. I don't want teachers teaching it to children. That's it. Like, that's a really low bar, actually. That's a really tolerant bar, I think. Like, plenty of places in the world, like Islamic places, for instance, they're not really big fans of you being gay or trans or stuff like that. I agree with Bill Clinton on making abortion safe, legal, and rare. I do not agree with Kamala Harris saying, what was she saying? Reproductive freedom, right? Women's health, right? Women's rights, right? But never abortion. She never said the actual word because we wouldn't want to draw attention to the fact that abortion is the opposite of reproduction. Like, I'm in favor of reason, and the Democrats are capable of that just as the Republicans are. But right now, the Democrats are so far away from the well of reason that I cannot imagine how anyone could vote for them. It's truly ridiculous. I mean, I understand hating Trump. I understand hating what Trump does. But how can you sit there and look at the Democrats and what they say and do and think that that's better? You don't have to love Trump to see the Democrats are much worse. Imagine saying that Antifa is good when they go around murdering people in cold blood. Good God. Thank you for watching. If you, very loud truck going by. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please do the YouTube things.